hall might go to school a little bit farther away from where you're located. And I think one of my biggest advice, and I know we're always told focus on academics your first semester, and that's extremely important. But if you are coming from an environment and you're moving to a new environment, I strongly suggest finding anybody, whether it's a mentor, whether it's your Balsa chapters, finding anybody who you can talk to and get along with. Because I think one of my best mentors told me when I first moved here that without network, there's no work. And all of us here, I think we touched on it, we mentioned how important the network is, but I strongly suggest, especially if you're moving to a new environment, yes, you have to focus on classes and focus on your grades, but also make sure that you meet people, because all of us here, when we're looking for jobs, I might say, oh, Rebecca, I call Rebecca and ask her if she knows of anything. So I feel like, aside from the academics, especially if you're moving to a new home, just try to meet as many people as you can, because you never know who may come out for you at the end. So.
And just to kind of piggyback off of both of what they said, and an attorney actually, one of the attorney speakers mentioned this earlier when she spoke, is that law school is going to be a completely new beast for anyone who enters that. There's no real way for you to prepare for law school, because once you get there, it's going to be a completely new way of learning, and you're going to be relearning how to learn, relearning how to write, relearning how to analyze once you get there, and it is going to be hard. And you cannot give up at the first test of that hardness, because you will get it. Everyone struggles with it at first, but you will get it and you will understand that. So you just have to go into it knowing that you do have to put in the time that you need to in order to achieve this goal that you want to do, but it's achievable. You have law students here who have achieved it, you have attorneys that have spoken to you who have achieved it, so just keep up with it. Also, to double piggyback, you have to make some time for yourself in law school, because it can consume your life, it can consume you, and that's when you can find yourself going to those negative coping mechanisms. So when I was in law school, similar, Friday, I didn't have Friday classes, so Friday was my day. I didn't check an email, not during finals time, during regular school time, but I didn't check the email, I didn't look at a book. It was just my day to unravel, to either work out, watch TV, go shopping, get my nails done, whatever I needed to do to just get away from it. But then I was going at it full speed the rest of the week. But you do have to enter that personal time to make sure it doesn't consume you, it consumes your life, and you can handle it.
I think that it's important to make sure that, especially with everything that's going on right now in this country, all the incidents that are occurring, that you really take time for yourself, take time for self-care. Make sure that there's safe spaces around you. If there isn't a safe space, create that safe space. Be able to take care of yourself. If that means going for a walk, going for a run, watching a movie, take that time so you can recharge yourself, whether that's mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. You need that time for you, and it's perfectly fine to take that time outside of your study.
So our last question is going to be about prepping for law school, and then we're going to open up the floor for you guys to ask any questions that you may have. So could you tell us how you decided the law school that you decided to attend, and kind of maybe some information that led up to you making that decision?
So I'm here now, my third year, love law school. This is not where I expected myself to be at all. I thought when I was in college that I was going to be in medical school. And then I was in biochemistry, and I was like, this math isn't for me, like what am I going to do? So I graduated, I took a year off, I was like, I need to do something. So I thought, what else am I interested in? So I thought of law school, and I studied for the LSAT, I self-studied, I didn't use a program. I found that to work best for me. And I researched a few law schools. I knew I wanted to stay local in New York, so I took the time out to go visit the law schools, and I came up in Brooklyn. I would say this, I work a lot with admissions at my school also. I think that it is important to go out to the law schools that you're interested in and sit down, talk with people, figure out what that law school environment is like, figure out if you feel comfortable in it. And also sometimes by doing that, you never know, sometimes a professor might see you and that's like another opportunity for you. Or you might open yourself up to a scholarship. You never know, so just make sure that you take the time out to go visit the schools schools. And also preparing for law school, I took a lot of time to prepare my family, I think also, just to know that I'm not going to have the time, as Rebecca was saying, I'm not going to be that free. So even now, I have a lot of things that I balance in my family, they still understand it. So that's how I prepare.
I'll add one more thing. Let's say you get accepted and you've gone through that. When you get your list of professors, I encourage you to email them before class even starts. Just introduce yourself so they know who's in the room. A lot of professors, and one of the ways that I knew I was going to be successful my first semester was I was participating because they knew exactly who I was and knew where I came from. They expected me to say something because I told them I was going to participate in class. So they were very, very aware of my presence when I walked through the door the first class. So when you get into law school, I said when you get into law school, when you get into law school and you get that first schedule, email those professors so they know that you're there and they know that you're going to be a part of that conversation, whatever class it may be.
So let's give our panel a round of applause. We have about 15 minutes to open up the floor for personal questions that you guys may have for the panel to ask. Hi, by the mics.
Hi, my name is Esther. I go to college in Kentucky. My question, this is my senior year of not high school, thank God, college. And I wanted to ask, especially since some of you are in 3L and have graduated from undergrad, how did you effectively conquer senioritis? That's like a struggle for me right now. Like I'm just like, oh my God. So
Senioritis is the devil. Okay. What you do is you keep focus on your vision and your goal. If you know that, okay, one day I'm gonna apply to law school and they're gonna look at my transcript, believe it or not, they are looking at your senior year probably harder because they're trying to see what kind of student is entering into my school. So if you know that in the back of your head, you have to say, okay, I can't slack off, right? That's something you have to continually tell yourself. Senioritis, write it on your forehead, in your mirror, something. Senioritis is the devil. It will pull you back and it will not represent who you really are as a student walking into law school.
I might just add, I see a lot of students go straight from undergrad to law school and they're burnt out. They're totally burnt out. And if you're in that position, give yourself the pass to take a year off or two and work. Because there's nothing that will get you back to law school faster than being in a job that you really don't like and don't have a passion for, right? But as we've all talked about, and I just want to clarify something because you've heard a lot of warnings about how difficult law school can be. Law school is still the best thing I ever did, really. And so it's going to be the best thing you ever did, but it's hard. You have to commit people are talking about cutting off, their friends and family to a limited basis. So if you're feeling like, I just need a break, I'm having a really hard time focusing on classes, a good option for you might be to take a job for a couple of years, then go back to law school.
And if I could ask each person to limit to one question for the panelists, and then if I could get the panelists to limit their answers to one.
So, I am not a traditional student. I'm a retired military. I'm a single mom with 4 daughters. Elementary, one in middle school, one in high school, and one in college. Thank you. And my question is, a lot of people are a lot younger than me. Maybe what one of your classmates did. I heard the lady say like-minded students. I've never met anyone like me. And I'm also an entrepreneur, so I have my own business. So for someone like me, what would be your advice? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find anyone like me. One, I'm also black, and I'm also Asian, and so I've never fit really into any category. Do you know of anyone that you've gone to school with who maybe didn't fit my profile, but you saw them making it happen, and they weren't a traditional student, and what could you offer to them?
I'm going to go ahead and take that one. So I've worked at a law school that offers part-time and full-time programs, and the current law school I work at offers a more traditional full-time program. And both of those institutions, I've came across similar stories, similar like you, especially in our part-time night program. When I worked in Arizona, there was mothers, there are fathers who have work full-time jobs or own their own businesses. There are going to be groups there for you. So we have a group at the school I work at now called Older, Wiser Law School Students, and it's basically a support group specifically for students like yourself who maybe law school wasn't your first career choice and now you're coming back to law school, but don't be afraid that there's not going to be similar people that you can connect with in law school. There's veteran associations at a lot of these law schools, so there's going to be someone who has some sort of experiences that you have that you'll be able to connect with, so don't feel that you're going to be in a classroom full of only 23-year-olds, because we're finding more, especially in admissions, more and more people are coming back to law school as a second career or working and they come back. So don't feel that way. There's somebody there that you'll be able to connect with in some form of way.
And if I may, just briefly to piggyback on that, I think one of the most important things that an applicant like you has to keep in mind is you have to make sure you do your diligent research and find the school that fits you, because a lot of schools have different, whether it's evening program focused, a part-time program focused. I know at my school, admissions realized that there's this new trend of law students called working professionals, and now we've implemented a weekend program where you can actually get your JD by going to school Saturday, Sunday. Seton Hall Law School in New Jersey. Feel free to reach out to me to get more information. But I think an important part is, depending on your situation, you want to find a school that fits you. So definitely do your research. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cordelia. I graduated from Penn State in 2015. And so if you guys don't know, Penn State is in Central PA, where there's like active KKK members, predominantly white. So interning over there and going to school over there, like no one was really trying to help me. And I moved a lot around my life, so I never had like solid networking relationships with anybody. And I went through the law school process. Like I took the LSAT. I applied to 7 schools. I didn't get into anything, but I had no guidance. Like I was literally doing all on my own based on the research that I did. So, and I've contacted NBPLC to try to meet up with people and get a mentor. But then they were, send your your resume and stuff, and then we'll email you back. And I never heard anything from them. So, like, what can I do to ensure that I really do have a mentor, have someone guide me? Because I'm doing it again. I'm taking them outside again in December, and I'm going to do the whole process all over again. But I do need some guidance and some help.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to make a plug for the Midwest. I know a lot of folks are probably like, Midwest, no way. But I would encourage all of you to think outside of the box.